What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. As everybody knows, I love, and I mean I love, the Western Bowie, especially the W49 style. You know what I mean? This one is my Szco Supplies. I've already done some modification on this knife. I redid the steel and I gave it a brushed look rather than that polished look. What you see on there now is just oil. But what I want to do is I want to modify this knife a little bit. And what I'm thinking is I either want to take off the scales, and you know, I think this is the greatest $20 Bowie on the planet. A $20 Bowie that withstands everything, that lasts a lifetime. I love this damn thing. I'm not sure if I want to take these scales off, redo them and reuse them, or if I want to just do different scales. I have a set of red laminate and I was thinking of putting those on, but these really aren't horrible. Just the fit and finish on a $20 Bowie isn't great. So I'm thinking, you know, just sand it up around where the tang is. Maybe resand the actual scales and stain them a different color, either going darker, or I have a nice Sedona red, because this one right here actually looks pretty nice. It's an attractive one. This one right here, I don't know, it's not all that nice, but it is what it is. And I did loosen my handguard a little bit. Now, I love this. I love everything about it, but I don't really need this over accented. There's a whole lot of words I can make up for this, but you know, this handguard on the top doesn't really serve a purpose for me. What I'm thinking of doing is cutting my handguard to, you know, cutting this part off and then making a nice round top so it just sticks out a little bit, but leaving the bottom part, and then reaffixing it so it's, hold on a second. Gotta get the damn dog. Get out of there. He's an idiot. Hey, down, lay down. And then, you know, reaffixing it with some JB weld, holding it on there a little better. So basically, I will have that as a hand guard, and that's all I really need. I don't need all that extra. But that's what I'm contemplating on now. And you can see that, you know, it's a rough handle. Do I want to use some scales that I have sitting around, or do I want to refinish these? That answer will come when I pop these off. Now, to take these off, there's a lot of correct tools. What I have is these two push daggers. They're tiny little push daggers, and I have two of them here. And I was thinking if I could just start wiggling a push dagger in one part like this, and then taking another push dagger and wiggling it into the other side. If I continue to do this down the knife, I'm not even on camera. If I continue to do this down the knife, eventually I can spread it open enough to where I can pull it off. And that's what I think I want to try and do. And I just put it in my head and started trying it. And I'm probably going to end up snapping these little push daggers because they're not the greatest thing in the world. They're, you know, really, really cheap. But so far it's working. You know what I mean? So if I can get these handle scales separated, then I can either take them off the knife and redo them, or take them off the knife and just start from scratch. And I gotta say, this little method of back and forth push daggering is actually working. So I'm going to continue this little method here to see if I can't fully separate the scale. So this is what I bought. It's a laminate. It's like a reddish color. They would need to be sanded down, obviously, but they're 5-inch scales, and this happens to be a 5-inch handle. So I wouldn't have to jack up the length at all. I would just be able to place it right on there. And if I put a guard on there, even shortened, if I cut up this guard a little bit, and then take a couple of these, you know what I mean, finished up, it would give it a really nice color. I like that color. I think the red, you know, the red wood would look pretty decent on there, you know what I mean? And once this is sanded and formed and shaped and all that jazz, I think it would actually look pretty good. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off both ends. I want both bows, and then I'm going to make it an oval guard like on the Szco Bowie. So I just have to see how that's going to work. And let's see. Should probably tighten my vise a little better, huh? Maybe that'll keep it from moving. Should probably put on some glasses too. What's the matter with me? Cutting through soft grass. Oh, it is. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bang off this corner. Both of these. And that's it right there. So I'm going to start working on getting this round. And that is pretty much immediate. That's the good thing about brass. It's so soft. It's easy to work with. And when I say easy, I mean easy. Look how that's after seconds. Look how nice and oval that is. Look at that. It's almost perfect. Alright, so let me go to my finer paper over here. Man, that looks good. That looks mighty, mighty good. All right, I am digging that look. So look at that. It gives it more of a satin look to it. And I mean, you're not gonna be able to see from back there. So let's bring you closer. Let's bring y'all close. Look at this. How cool is that? So now I have a satin blade, and it looks like I'm gonna have a satiny handguard. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I really like that. So this is going to be my new handguard for my Szco Supplies carbon steel Bowie. All right, so a little updated look. How is that? How is that? Rather than that big S guard. How is that? Even if I kept it with the natural wood, which I don't think I'm going to, but even if I kept it like that, look at the look, how much it changes. So much better. So much better. I think it's going to look good with the red and in that brush. And I'll tell you what, that's a so far so good look if you ask me. Make sure you have some good bits, because I started out with a bit that I've used over and over again. Holy mackerel, what a mistake. So I'm only going to use those two holes. Those are the ones I made bigger. But wow, that took a lot to drill through there. So I know that the blade got a little heated and it changed a little bit of this color, so I'm going to have to resand that. So I'm going to get on this project tomorrow. I'm going to go finish watching the Cowboys and get ready for tomorrow's big Patriots game. So I'll tell you what though, that's looking pretty good so far. See y'all. Well, actually, I'll be right here. All right, guys, here at the gym, Combat Iron. Just want to give them a shout out. These guys don't pay me for anything. This is a company. They make apparel and different things. It's one of those buy soldiers type things. It's a bunch of military guys that made this company. These shirts are great material. They have other things too, but awesome. Combat Iron. Just saying. Check them out. You might be able to fill up a sleeve one day. Oh yeah. All right, back from the gym, feeling good. So for all you, I'm gonna get to work on this handle. For all you guys who enjoy sneak peeks, just want to let you know that I already laid out the design for my samurai sword. I'll be doing that someday. It's gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna go through a lot of material making that. So right now I have to figure out my my handle scales here and get them on. Let's see. I got some crud from drilling on the handle, so gotta get that seated down there. There we go. All right, there's always the right tool for the job, even when you use the wrong tool. I'm gonna lift this up a little bit so I have room there. All right, so this is what I have. I've got my handguard and I've got some scales. So what I need to do is line it up and get some holes right. So let's see if I have a marker that's going to reach through these holes. This one will do it. Now, if I put my scale directly down onto my my handguard, it's going to shift the handguard. So what I have to do is very carefully figure out where straight is going to be. And that's it right there. So I want to line up the spine because that's the important part. Make sure I got my dots there, and I do. So now what I'm going to do is make my dots a little better. And then I'm going to double check, because you always double check. You know, they say measure twice, cut once type thing. I want to make sure that it is perfect. And exactly. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to drill out the holes for this scale, and then I'll be able to match the other scale because it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. So that wasn't so bad. Then what I'll do is I'll get both scales glued down, and I will cut down my and I'm going to actually show you what I use if I can find it. Maybe I can't find it. So this is the part of the video where it's just a bunch of dead space and you're looking into nothing. I don't know. I have a rod around here somewhere, which is, oh, it's right below my feet and I didn't even notice. This is the aluminum rod. It's a 1/4-inch aluminum rod. What I do is I cut it down, but before I cut it down, you can see how this part's all marred. A 1/4-inch drill hole, a 1/4-inch drill bit and a 1/4-inch rod are not the same size. What happens is if I drill it with the 1/4-inch bit, this doesn't fit. So I put this on the sander and I make it thinner so it fits through. So what I'll do is I'll hit it on the sander long enough to cover 2 pins. Then I'll cut them off one by one, rub them, I roll them in the glue, and I stick them through the hole, because you don't just glue down here and then stick it on there and then put a pin through. You want to make sure you have glues in there too. So glues, plural. So that's important. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and get these holes drilled and go on from there. And you guys can come with me, really. Here, let's just bring you over here. I was going to press stop and all that. I mean, y'all know how a drill works. There's no secret to this. This bit I use to hit this with, so Hopefully it's still good. Hopefully it's still good. It should be. Oh, it's butter smooth. No worries. Woo, that's pretty. That's some pretty red dust. All right. Try to get a lot of that off because you want this thing as flat and smooth as possible. All right. So it's important. I could just take a scale, put it on there and line up the holes, but you want to make sure you're going in the right direction. With this one, I believe it was like this. And want to make sure that's all correct. And that is all correct. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm going in the same place, right? So I want to make sure that which side is the inside. And this side's going to be the inside, this side's going to be the top. So I'm going to take my marker, I'm going to make an arrow pointing to the top on both of these. So there's no confusion. Once I glue them, I want to be able to lay them down and not go, oh crap, the holes don't line up because I put it in the wrong spot. So what I'm going to do now, because I know that it goes this way, I'm going to line them up and I'm going to go through my original drill hole here into the second scale. But you make sure if you're doing this, you line them up perfect. I mean, they have to be perfectly lined up. Otherwise, you are going to perfectly screw up. Alright, so those are in. That's about it right there. So now what happens is I'm going to cut down my rod to where my pins are going to fit. And then I'm going to JB weld, JB weld, JB weld. All I'm doing is turning on my sander. And I'm going up and down, and I'm twisting. So you can see I'm twisting like this as I go up and down. And that's it. Oh yeah, that goes in good. That goes in good. There's enough drag to where I'm gonna be all right. So now what I need to do is look at my width here. I want to make sure, even though it's going to be sanded down a little bit, I want to get pretty close to that width. So usually I try to find a mark on it that I can use as a measuring device. Right there I see a dark spot, and that's it. Alright, so if you've never used a two-part epoxy, first of all, get the drying time 5-minute kind. I use the JB Weld, it's pretty good. All you're doing is you're taking 1/2 and I'm running low. Let's see. Remember when I said you take 1/2? Yeah. Wait till it gets there. Alright, so you're just going to squeeze. I can see it in there. I'm not lying to you guys. There it comes. You're going to squeeze onto this thing a good size goop of it. Alright, and I think that's the actual terminology, a goop of it. And then put the cap back on it. Looks like I need to get some more JB Weld. And then you're going to take the other half of the equation and do the same thing. Just a nice even size mess of goop that you put on with the other one. You're going to put on the same with this one, and then all you're doing is stirring it together. I happen to use either a pencil or a pen, whatever I have around, and you're just going to mix it, and it's going to get kind of foggy. You know what I mean? It looks really clear before you mix it. Once you mix it, it gets really, really foggy. So that's what you're looking at. And now what I do is I just smear it all over there. Now, because I want to get my handguard in there, I'm going to put a little bit of extra. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the handguard up and down so it's actually in there. But you may remember to coat the entire tang. The entire tang must be coated. It's got to be goopy and nasty and gluey. The whole thing. If you see dry spots, hit it again. Hit it again. Up and down, the whole thing. You don't have to do the edges unless you're going all the way around. If you're doing a handle that wraps around the tang. But I am not, so I just need to make sure I have all of this flat steel coated. I'll make sure I'm in the light here so I can see that. And it's looking good. All right. So now I'm going to run my handguard up through that, and I'm going to take a little bit, and I'm going to put it where the handguard rests. Right there and right there. Now don't worry about having pins sticking out, because you're going to grind that down, file it off. Alright, completely pressed. And then what I'm going to do before I leave it set for a final one, since I just closed it a little bit more, I'm going to file down this just a little bit more. Hold on. Beautiful. So, you know, you watch them on TV and they make it look so easy, but it really is a process. You know what I mean? You want to get everything on there good, everything on there tight, and I want it to be better than original. I want it to be tighter than original. I want it to be stronger than original, and that's what I'm going for. So now you see, here's my blade, here's my vise, and there's my scales. So once this dries, it's all about shaping it. See how it's all coming together. It's all coming around. I knocked off that piece right there. So now I have to make the whole thing dust smooth all the way around like that. But it's coming out. It's gonna be awesome. Alright guys, so there it is, the finished product. Now I did polish the blade. You can see that it's got a mirror-like finish. It's pretty well polished, but this is it. Asia's home. So so that's it, man. That thing came out pretty badass. I mean, if I put this next to the stock knife, you'd never guess it was the same thing. It's just beautiful. I mean, beautiful. And it handles like a dream. So that's it. I was going to go back to the satiny blade, and I started sanding it, and you could see the sand marks. I didn't go crazy. I started sanding it, and then I hit it with a polisher. Whoops, there goes my finger. I hit it with a polisher, and it started just making it look real nice. So I'm going to leave it at that stage right there. I mean, you can see it's still mirror finish inside, which it wasn't not too long ago. And I mean, it's got stuff all over the blade right now, so it's even messy, but look at it, man. Look at it, man. Look at it, man. This right here. Woo! That is just crazy good. That's crazy good. That is beautiful. So, it's that easy, guys. It's that easy to take a $20 knife and make it look like a $25 knife. It is that easy. It is awesome. So, I love it. I'm going to have a few more years of fun with this. And when I say a few, I mean probably forever, because it's lasted me a very long time so far, and I don't see this thing ever dying out. And oh man, this is impressive. This is impressive. You know what else is impressive? Check this out. This is This is what is today. Today is January 14th in Massachusetts. January 14th. That's pillows back there. That's not snow. Look at green in the grass. There's that. And I literally just got home because I was out on my Harley. Look at this, man. But anyway, we're talking about this. And we're actually done talking about it. So let's just finish this bad boy up. Look at that, man. Look at that, man. Look at that, man. All right, guys. So that's how we do. I'm Donnie B all day. Until next knife.